Thank you for tuning in to interview
Got it.
DJ Nocturna. Welcome to the show. I have with me Wellington, New Zealand, four-piece quartet called After the Flesh. Welcome, guys. I have Maruša and
Hello.
So Maruša is the lead vocalist and the synth. She plays synth, and Alec the guitar, right, and vocalist as well. And
Right.
I know I said there's four of you. There's Sam on drums and Duncan on bass, but they're not with us right now.
Yeah, they don't have anything to say. Nothing interesting anyway.
Yeah, we're having so much fun here. We were talking and chatting before we recorded this, and I said we're saying a lot of things that we should be recording. So, thank you guys for joining me. I know you guys are in two separate areas. Alec, you're in New Zealand, and Maruša, you're in Slovenia, right? That's where you're from.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
then we had to create a time that we can all meet, and this is like actually the only time to do it. Did you know that?
Yeah, I got
Really?
the date wrong. I did all of this yesterday as well. I woke up super early.
No, you're the earliest. Usually I'm the earliest when I interview somebody from England, because you know why? Because if we did this an hour earlier, it'd be too early for him. And
Oh my goodness.
if we did this a few hours later, it'd be too late for you.
Yeah, that's right. Because for me, it's 11 p.m. right now, so that's almost my bedtime.
I know. See, that's what I mean. So that's why this is the only time. It's almost like it had to be done, and this is the only time, and it's so good. We got it done. But thank you, guys.
I'm glad we managed to find a time that actually suits everyone. It's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, and you're like all the way down there in Eastern Europe, and you're down in the bottom of the globe, and we're just I'm in the middle of the Pacific. So what a great time. Thank God for the internet, right?
Yeah, thank goodness.
You know, your music, first time I heard it, like I was saying, I loved it. The first song I ever heard, it was like, I go, Michelle, UTM Music Group. I had to, big shout out to him. I said, that band, After the Flesh, I love that song. Can I get an interview? And he goes, yeah, but he was saying, but they're all in different places right now, because Maruša is in Slovenia. She's there, like, I don't know if it's temporary or for a little bit longer. And then I said, we can make it happen. We'll just have to figure it out. Let me look at the time schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be the time. So tell us a little bit about how you guys formed and how you guys met. I mean, you formed in 2019.
Yeah, that's right. So that's kind of like what we were saying before. Originally me and Duncan, the bassist, we were part of a two parts of a three-piece band that was a gothy acoustic covers project. He was playing acoustic bass and double bass, and then we had another guy on acoustic guitar and vocals, and I did vocals as well. And eventually that sort of fell apart, and we recruited Alec, and the rest is history.
Yeah, Duncan and I had been playing in high school like many years ago, and so I guess he thought of me, and we hooked up, and that's when I met Maruša. We just drank beers at her house one day and talked about
we just got really drunk. Yeah, it was great.
Continuing this covers project, but it was really fun. But I guess the songwriting bug was just nagging, and we just started writing, and really just jamming and recording it, and then sort of like editing those kind of big jams down. Like, we've got a really unusual sort of songwriting process.
Yeah, it's very eclectic, chaotic.
How would you describe the genre of what kind of genre?
Oh gosh, what was the term we used to use that you kind of hated?
I think I said stoner goth at a party, and then Duncan got really excited and started calling us stoner goth for like a year. But
yeah, that's right.
I think we've got a lot of like early 80s influence and sort of mid 90s. So it's kind of like Curie, Bauhausy, Depeche kind of stuff.
Oh,
but also through the lens of kind of like 90s trip hop and rock. And we try to have like sort of pop sensibilities to all of it, but it's kind of sprawling and layered and weird, and it takes a long time. But
exactly. Yeah, it's sprawling and weird and chaotic, and it's kind of its own thing. But obviously we do have a lot of influences. Well, I think one like we always keep drawing back to being like, oh, this sounds like The Cure. Oh, like
Yeah.
this bit sounds
That's
like
the one
Smiths.
band that we all like. So
Yeah,
it's sort
yeah,
of
we
the
can all agree on
glue,
that.
but we have to sort of avoid sounding too much like The Cure.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And I know that you guys you play all different instruments. And you all met in New Zealand. So you were living there, right, Maruša? You were living
Yeah,
there.
that's right. So I lived in New Zealand for about 17 years or so, and obviously during that time, I ran into Duncan and formed a band with him. And yeah, only just recently, about 2 months ago, I ended up leaving and going back to Europe.
Are you gonna be going back to New Zealand again?
Things are kind of uncertain at this
Okay.
moment. I'm needed here in order, like, just I've got a lot of family stuff to deal with here. And that's like a big reason why I left. That, as well as the cost of living crisis that's currently going on in New Zealand. All of that stuff made
Oh,
me
yeah.
go, well, actually, it's time for me to go and see what I can do here, fix some things up, and maybe eventually I'll go back to New Zealand, but I don't really know when that will be. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I
Mm.
have no idea. It's everything's kind of up in the air right now.
Well, I'm glad we're able to connect this way, which is great.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Even though you're in another area. So
Yeah.
this EP, this is a 4-song EP, and it's called self-titled After the Flesh. How did you guys get your name?
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
what were you
Like
guys
it.
called? You guys were called like Crimes of Passion,
Yeah, we were called Crimes of Passion.
which is
Um,
it's like a 80s film noir movie with
Yeah.
Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
that's
I
right.
we had to change the name, so I wanted to call it Body Heat, which is another Kathleen Turner film noir. But no,
Yeah.
that was too much of a deep cut. I don't know. I think After the Flesh, isn't it a thrill kill cult song or
It
something?
is, yeah. And I feel like I have a memory of having a list on my phone of like potential band names that I could use one
That's right.
day if,
That's
Oh
really
yeah.
theoretically, yeah, Crimes of Passion were to fall apart and we'd have to form a new band, I think. And then like I was going through them when we were all hanging out together, and I said After the Flesh, which was already on my list, and
a
then
great,
somehow
Oh,
we
great
true.
ended up
name.
on that.
It really is a great name.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
Catchy name, That's why I do the same thing. I write whatever I'm thinking at the moment, because if you don't, you forget, and you completely
That's
forget.
right.
You always gotta.
Mm.
So what is some of the inspiration with this? What is there a certain theme you're working on for this EP?
I guess New Zealand is really remote, and so it's kind of about sort of existing in that environment, but also the desire to get out of of where you're at. I mean, Maruša came here from Slovenia and always kind of wanted to go back. I've never done a lot of traveling because I've never had a lot of money, but there's always that desire to get out from where you are. And so I think that there's a lot of that in the songs.
Yeah, there's a lot of yearning and sort of
Yearning.
like wishful thinking and longing, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like being so isolated really brings that out in you, I guess, as a songwriter.
Yeah.
Guys, do you guys share the songwriting, the lyrical
It's
aspect?
mostly Alec.
Well, yeah, like we had one song that Maruša, I think, wrote all the lyrics for, but she was too self-conscious about it. Like we had to stop doing it live or something. But I thought it was a really
Yeah,
good song.
that was. I don't remember why we didn't end up like
It was a real
revisiting that.
complex, hard to play song as well.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
we all contribute, like, I mean, sometimes we just need a bunch of shit, so I'll just scribble a bunch of things down.
Yeah.
But it's as democratic a band as I've ever been in, which is probably why everything takes a long time. And
Yeah, because we don't really have a leader per se, so everything is decided via a complex, drawn out democratic process that may or may not work.
But don't give up. I mean, just keep going. I know this is like this EP alone is a great EP. So keep it up.
Thanks so much, and thanks
Hey,
for
thank you.
thanks for talking with us today. Like, it's
Oh
a great
yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I always like I mean it's fresh. I mean I like it. I mean if people are listening to this interview, you gotta stay tuned because after this I'll play the music and you can see what I mean. And I have been playing your music in the show.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you
It's
so
really
much.
great.
In fact, I think it's on today's show as well. Let me see.
Oh,
Of
wicked.
course.
Yeah, it's gonna be on today's show as well. Yep. I'll be playing Perpetual Midnight. Yeah.
That
wicked.
old chestnut.
And
We've got
I'm so glad you guys got to shoot some photos together,
yeah,
you
well,
guys got
Marusha's
together.
brother is a really great photographer, Martin Sagadin, great photographer and video artist, and he actually made our music video for Changeling as well. And
Oh,
and that's just another one of the many favors that that have been
Yeah.
extended to us.
One of the
Yeah.
great things about New Zealand, obviously there's drawbacks like it being so isolated, but it being so isolated, it means that, if you're in the music scene, you're quite likely to know just about everybody else in the music scene, the production scene, and the video scene, and it's quite easy to make connections. And thankfully, one of the strongest connections I have is with my sibling. And yeah, it just so happened that I think Duncan became aware of their work, of my brother's work, a while ago, and always wanted to work with him. So eventually we're just like, all right, it's time that we join forces with Martin and create something magical. And that's exactly what happened, basically. We just dropped the video a few days ago, and we're very pleased with it. We're very stoked about it.
yeah. So this
Yeah.
album, this EP, I mean, is produced. I mean, you mentioned his name before.
Oh, Bryan
Bryan
Tabuteau.
Tabuteau,
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
fantastic
does
guy.
a lot of production work for New Zealand, like goth and darkwave kind of bands. And I think he's in a White Zombie covers band as well. I don't know why I'm mentioning
Oh, really?
He's in so many bands, I think.
Yeah.
that.
And
He's
then
great.
and I know you
So
mentioned to
helpful.
me that you guys did a cover. Can you want to talk about that, or is that something that you don't want to talk about?
Well, we started off as a covers band, and so we did a whole bunch of covers. But oh, you were talking about this Mortal Coil song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Song to the Siren. We tried to do a little sort of Tim Buckley-ish This Mortal
Mhm.
Coil version, but we did a whole bunch of stuff. Susie and
Yeah, we've done all kinds. Then
yeah, we
Susie
actually
in the Cave, like we even did Bauhaus.
Did you say Nick
just
Cave?
session.
Did you say Nick Cave?
Yeah.
yeah. What did we do? Did we do a Nick
We
Cave?
used to do Where the Wild Roses Grow.
Oh my
Um,
God.
and there was another one.
Nick Cave is in my heart.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think we used to do Henry Lee as well.
Oh yeah.
Or was that Crimes of Passion? Was that with you, Alec? I can't remember.
I don't remember. But yeah, one of the last covers we did was films by Gary Newman. I think
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
we want to record that one because it was so fun and so energetic.
Yeah.
So are you guys thinking of I know this is an EP, are you guys thinking of expanding a little bit more songs and putting an album together like eventually?
Yeah, I mean we've got a lot of songs, and I think we're kind of like the Beatles. We're sort of exactly like the Beatles in that we're all geniuses, and at some point they sort of stopped playing live and just decided to get more interesting with recordings and video art, and that's kind of what we're doing now by necessity, since we don't all live in the same part of the world. So yeah, it's we've
That's
got
interesting. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
there's artists, there's always bands that are not always together, but they create music together, even though that's what we are.
yeah.
We can do that now.
Yeah.
Acknowledge.
Exactly.
right.
Like you said, like, I mean, we can do that now that, we couldn't have done that even like 10 years ago. And so it's potentially a positive thing. And hey, maybe one of them will get on a beer commercial and we'll get millions of dollars, and then we'll be able to like maybe go on a tour or something.
That's the dream.
Yeah, just imagine, and it can be a reality, right? That's what they
Yeah,
say.
exactly. Maybe one day.
Well, I'm super excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing the rest of this songs and for the remaining part of the interview. And I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be I'm really looking forward to your next singles that you release. I know
Yeah,
you.
we've got another video in the works that's weirder. We just need to finish editing it, but I think that's gonna
Oh, which song?
keep going too. That one's for Cold Glory, which is a longer song.
Yeah, well, Alec is actually directing that one.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That's
As you
right.
can see, I'm hard at work directing that one, but it's just in the editing stages, but it's looking really cool. It's like kind of backwards and weird.
So
Yeah.
the Changeling is a really interesting title. Do you guys have a reason, a meaning behind that song?
Well, the song itself is kind of in a structure in which it starts off very dingy and dark alleyway-ish, but then kind of like blooms at the end into this kind of more emotional section. And so I don't know, maybe that's where the title came from.
Yeah, I remember
I
like
think
quite a
Duncan
few
thought of
times,
it.
like when we were playing shows, you were like, you'd be announcing the song, and you would always be like, "This song's called Changeling because it changes."
Yeah, it's like
There's a movie, George C.
Yeah, I've seen the movie too.
Not, I'm talking about the first Changeling. There's two of them. The George C.
Oh,
This is back in the 70s, I think. George C. Scott. He was in that movie, and it was like
Really?
one of the scariest films I ever saw.
I love
really?
I mean, it's not a horror kind of film. It's not that kind. It's more like like the 70s kind of thriller suspense kind of thing.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
You know who directed it? Was it like Sidney Lumet or something?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Because I know George C. Scott they worked together a lot. I really like George
Yeah,
C.
you're probably
Scott.
right. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's just that's why when I saw that title, I go, oh, that movie.
It's on my list. Yeah.
You go see it. It's a
wicked.
really interesting movie. I think you guys will find it. Like it's one of those horror movies that it really what do you call it? Grab me.
Yeah.
Grab me by the neck, just like The Exorcist did,
Yeah, 70s
sounds like
movies.
sounds like it's worth a watch.
I mean, those are the original classics, right? I mean, those is
that's right.
70s movies are so tough.
Yeah, the 70s horror film. You guys must like horror movies.
Yeah,
we're partial.
But I don't know. I don't know what is your favorite movie, Maruša?
If I had, oh my goodness, if I had to pick a favorite movie, really, like on the spot right now, bro, like
just
got too many.
one off.
Yeah.
What's my favorite? I
think you go first. I'll think about it.
Let's see. I like my dad's a film buff, so I kind of grew up on old movies. So I like stuff like Sunset Boulevard and Treasure of the Sierra Madre. But I like science fiction. I like 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of I like horror movies. I like Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
So many versions of that I've noticed.
I'm talking about the early one. The first one. The one that's I think the house is not, I think the house is changed and everything. It's in New York somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, Long Island or something. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But that movie was haunting.
Creepy.
I guess those movies are early when you're growing up and you're a kid, right? And you watch that, it's like you never forget it. It's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the guys in those movies were really hot as well. They had big beards and hairy chests and big veins of long
kind of like the Burt Reynolds look, yeah.
Yeah, the guy in that movie looks kind of like Chris Christopherson or something. Kind of man's man 70s look. I like it.
Well, what is the scene like over there? The goth scene in New Zealand and in Slovenia. I don't know.
Oh gosh,
I've never been.
Like,
yeah,
it's in New Zealand. It's small and it's shrinking, but I mean, at least I can only speak for Wellington, obviously. But it's very much alive. There's a local bar called Valhalla that tends to host just about every goth, dark rock type of music that is being played, and then occasionally you get gigs in other small venues generally just like a lack of big venues in Wellington, but you know, that it
But
is how it is.
they say there's always a goth community in every place. There really is, you know.
Yeah.
Even places
Yeah.
you would never think there is one, there is. Because when I was living in Guam, I was one of those people. Such a small place.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think, oh, there's no goth people there. Yeah, there was. I don't know about now. I don't
Yeah.
know anymore. Just like Hawaii.
Yeah, you just have to look, right? Like, I mean, that's my impression when I came back here a couple of months ago, is that like my hometown which is called Kran, absolutely tiny. It's like I can only just barely call it a town. It's kind of just above a village. It doesn't really seem to have an alternative scene. It's very much, you know, an aging population. But if you go to the capital of Slovenia, which is about like maybe 20-30 minutes drive away from here, it's called Ljubljana here, and they have like a really quite a lively alternative, I guess, population. You can find just about anything over there if you look. It's absolutely amazing.
I have yet to go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make it a point.
Oh, please do. Yeah, it's well worth a visit. It's absolutely beautiful.
Definitely. Well, you know, I'm super stoked, you know, that I hope to do an interview with you guys again when you guys you know have your whole you know, a new set of music and album and everything like that, and I'm sure you will. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You guys are kicking it, you know. Yeah.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
So if somebody wanted to find out more about your music, I know it's on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Bandcamp. We've got what kind of social mediums do we?
Well, we've got Bandcamp, we got YouTube, we got Instagram and Facebook, but I don't think we've expanded beyond that. I don't think any one of us is particularly huge on social media usage.
But yeah, Bandcamp and YouTube, I think just be shy to keep those views coming. I know I got a tab that's just our video on loop just to get the view count.
I saw you guys. I'm gonna follow you guys. You're on Instagram. If people want to check them out, is After the Flesh on Instagram.
Hey.
And I'm also on Instagram. DJ Nocturne on Instagram. And then you're also
we just got a follow. Nice. Thank you.
Hey.
Okay, let's see. And then I'm gonna find you guys on right here. There's After the Flesh, also right there on Facebook. I'm already following you guys. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, you know, I'm looking forward to you know, to seeing the next one, and keep me posted.
Oh, well, yeah.
The next video should be out in about a month, and it's gonna set the world on fire.
Which
cool
video?
Dates, bro.
Which video is that?
It's called Cold Glory.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you have some winter demos in here too on your YouTube, on your Bandcamp page.
Oh fuck, we need to get rid of those.
Oh, the demos. Yeah, that's right.
We should get rid of the demos and make good versions of those songs.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to do in the future, yes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much for
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Okay, don't go away. Let me just turn this off. Thank you both for joining me.